Hello everybody, it's Carpo again. No sooner did I finish my last video and start setting up to work that I turned the page and found another one I really wanted to read. Actually, two of them. I hope you enjoy. This is out of the Words to Live By book. It got to the second section. It's called The Road to Success. And this one I think everyone can relate to. It's called Setting Your Goal by Henry Seidel Canby, author, critic, and editor of the Saturday Review of Literature. And the quote he chose was, "Our life is frittered away by detail. The nation is ruined by want of calculation and a worthy aim. It lives too fast." He goes on to say, millions of American women fritter away their lives by 1,000 details, of which 900 of them get them nowhere, certainly not toward happiness, and so do their husbands. They live fast, but neither hard nor deep. They live too fast because they don't know where they are going, and so have to hurry to get there. They can't simplify their lives because they have never simplified their thinking. These millions have never stopped long enough to calculate what is an aim worth having. They don't really know what they want. Henry Thoreau, our greatest natural philosopher, had his own solution to the problem. He wanted to write a book. And so, for 2 years, he lived like a hermit in the woods, cultivating beans and corn to keep up his rations. He succeeded in escaping from the fritter and the fluster of living in Concord Village, where he thought out his book and wrote it. Then he came home. In short, he found out his worthwhile aim and then got rid of the particular kinds of detail that frittered away his time and energy. This doesn't necessarily mean that we must all follow Thoreau's exact example. Above all, that is no solution for anyone who hates beans and gardening. But nearly everyone can apply his general principle. We live in the midst of details that keep us running around in circles and never getting anywhere but tired. Or that bring on nervous breakdowns and coronary thrombosis. The answer is not to take to the woods, but to find out what we really want to do, and then cut out the details that fritter away what is most valuable in life. Live deep instead of fast. I think this is what Thoreau meant. Great passage. And so true. All these are really obvious to me and to you, but they're, I found that even though books are obvious, even though stories are obvious, and they're always the same story over and over, these archetypes, symbols, they're still great. You love the story of the hero. And even little quotes, though you've heard them before, sometimes can be very inspiring. So I'm going to read one more. This one's called Starting Out by William Saroyan, author and playwright. The quote he chose is, "It is not impossible to walk on water." These words were said to me about 25 years ago by my great-uncle Garibed Saroyan when he came into my bed, living, and work room in a house in Fresno, California, where I had recently installed a typewriter. I was almost 13 at the time, and he was an old man. I thought he was as old as any man could be, although he was probably well under 60. He said, "My boy, what is that contraption?" I said, "It's a typewriter, sir." "What's it for?" he said. "It's for clear writing," I said, and handed him an example of typewriter print on paper. "What is this writing on the paper?" "Philosophical sayings." "By which philosopher?" my great-uncle Garibed said. "By myself," I said. He sat on the bed, lighted a cigarette, and then studied the sheet of paper and his great-nephew. When he got up to go, he said, "Proceed, for it is not impossible to walk on water." Even though he had said very little, there was no mistaking what he meant. Coming from him, a man famous for his fierce wit, this was approval, recognition, and encouragement to keep on trying. I felt much obliged to him. That's a good one. I like it. All of these are just... work is the best narcotic. Yeah, I'm going to get to some of these other ones down the road, but maybe I'll read one more just because I'm on it. Because I haven't read any of these ahead of time, so I don't know which ones are good, but I'll just read them all. Keeping Going by Cornelia Otis Skinner, actress, monologist, and co-author of Our Hearts Were Young and Gay, back when gay meant happy. The quote she chose was, "This day we sailed on, course west-southwest, Christopher Columbus." This was the entry which, day after day, Columbus put down on the private log of his first voyage across the uncharted North Atlantic. He must have written it in a spirit alternating between blind hope and quiet despair. Conditions were about as adverse as possible. Storms had damaged the little caravel. The Pinta had lost her rudder. The crews of all three vessels were threatening mutiny, and probably Columbus's own confidence in what seemed an insane enterprise was wavering. But he had set his course in the direction which his own intuition and logical intelligence led him to believe was the right one. And with dogged courage, he kept going. The words are not especially comforting ones, but these are days when the world is less in need of supine comfort than of high gallantry and faith in an inner integrity. During times of distress, doubt, and weariness, people may well be inspired by the words of the great navigator, "This day we sailed on." So, I urge us all to sail on. I'm going to do my best. That's all I can do. I don't have any misgivings about the way things are. I don't have any flighty perceptions on a way to really deal with everything around us and all the problems that we face. And there are no quick answers. And the quick solutions are usually the ones that are most simple, which is live with integrity, live happily, and just do the best you can, you know? But who am I to say? I'm working on my own things.